Good morning, all of you. Let us start the class. So far, we have discussed with definition, then the scope, how it differs from traditional economics, and what is the role of manager in an economy. What are the other subjects are included in the managerial economics? These are the topics that we have completed so far. Today, I'm going to discuss the fundamental concept of managerial economics. I have given five fundamental concepts for section A. Today, let me see elaborately because it's a confirmed section B question. What are the fundamental concepts of managerial economics? What is the basic principle of managerial economics? What is the axiom of managerial economics? These kind of questions, this is the answer. First of all, the managerial economics having five different principles. We used to call it as fundamental concept of managerial economics. What are they? The first one is incremental concept. Number two is concept of time perspective. Then the third one is opportunity cost principle. The fourth one is discounting principle, and the last one is eco-marginal principle. We will discuss one by one. First, we will start with the incremental concept. Here there are two divisions. One is called incremental revenue, and the second one is the incremental cost. That is, the incremental cost is nothing but what is the change in the total cost due to implementation of certain decision. If you take there is a change in price, or there is a product promotion or sales promotion activity. If you take some decision in these things, there will be change in cost. That particular cost is a deciding authority whether to implement the decision or not. So this is called incremental concept. Similarly, in the other side, there will be a revenue side. Because of the change in decision, how much revenue you can able to earn. So when we compare the incremental revenue and incremental cost, suppose the incremental revenue is more, then the decision is correct. On the other hand, suppose the incremental revenue is less than the incremental cost, then the decision is wrong. So based on this particular concept, whenever we make some decision in a business, we have to compare what is the incremental cost due to that decision and what is the incremental revenue out of it. So comparing these two, and we have to implement the decision, failing which we will end up with the loss. The firm may incur the loss. So this is the first concept. The second one is about the time perspective. Definitely, this is the main concept for managerial economics, because at that particular time, the value may differ. Net present value will be different because of this time perspective. Why we are saying the time factor is playing a dominant role in managerial decision making, as it changes all the economic indicators. Economic indicators in the sense pricing, product, promotion, employment opportunity, and labor turnover. All these things are based on the time perspective only. I have given one simple example. The price of the newspaper in the morning hours is high. The same paper, if you buy in the evening, it will be low. In the next day, it is useless. Why? Because even for weight, we will not buy that. This is because of the time perspective. The price of a newspaper may be doubled. Suppose in the next day, there will be a state budget or a central budget. So we are classifying this particular time perspective into four categories: a very short period and short period. Then third one is long period and very long period. Very short period means in hours. Short period is within a week or month. A long period is a year, and a very long period is over the years. So based on this only, there will be some decision will be taken in the business. This is the second fundamental principle of managerial economics. And now we are moving to the third one, discounting principle. Suppose a fruit seller is selling fruits. Price of apple is 10 rupees. Suppose if you buy one apple, then he will charge 10 rupees. Suppose you are ready to buy all 50 apples from him. Then what he will not give 10 rupees per apple. He will ready to give 8 to 9 rupees. Why? Because the discounting principle. How it is possible? Because he can able to save his man hours, and he can buy again, and he can sell in that same day. So that particular man hours and time perspective, that discounting is possible. That is why in the large scale, the price of the product will be less. That we should keep in mind. This is the third fundamental principle of a managerial economics. Then the fourth fundamental principle is opportunity cost principle. All the decisions are taken based on this particular principle only, because what is the cost incurred for the alternative, that decides your actual decision. There are two options, A and B. Why you are choosing A? Because of the disadvantage of B. Or why you are choosing B? What are the disadvantage of A? Suppose you take a wrong decision, means the alternative will show that if you choose the alternative, if it gives more benefit, then your decision is wrong. That is why the concept of opportunity cost principle is the best economic tool for manager decision making. Why? Because under this principle, the firm can select the best alternative out of the available alternative in order to make an effective decision. The axiom of opportunity cost is to analyze or compare what is the value of the next best alternative of a decision. We may say the opportunity cost is a right tool to decide all the business decision, because it gives what is the consequence if you are not taken a particular decision. This is the fourth fundamental concept. And finally, the equimarginal principle. This you can expect a separate question either in opportunity cost principle or equimarginal principle. You should say this is called principle of maximum satisfaction. How to get maximum satisfaction out of the available resources. The basic idea of this principle, the input should be employed in such a way the value added by the last input is the same of all users. I may say in another way, the input are utilized in an optimum way so as to maximize the profitability or minimize the cost. That is the object of any firm. So that particular principle we used to call it as equimarginal principle. How it can be explained? There are three products A, B, C. The marginal productivity of A must be equal to marginal productivity of B, which is equal to marginal productivity of C. Suppose you are having some available resources, you employ in producing the A, means you may get some profit. Suppose if you employ for product B, the resources value will not change. The marginal productivity is the same, but whether you are reaping more profit or not is a criteria. Suppose you are having 1 lakh rupees, that is the resources. Whether you are going to produce A, B, C, the productivity is same 1000 only. But out of these, which product will give more return, you have to decide and you have to employ on that. That is why the marginal productivity of A equal to marginal productivity of B and marginal productivity of C, where A, B, C are the available alternative. You can choose any best alternative, but subject to the condition whether you can able to maximize the profit or minimize the cost. So these are the 5 fundamental principles. For your sake, I will list out again. The first one is incremental cost principle. The second one is principle of time perspective. The third one is the discounting principle. The fourth one is opportunity cost principle. The last one is equimarginal principle. These are the 5 fundamental concepts of managerial economics. Actually, this particular question you can expect in the examination. Shall we move to the next topic or we'll wind up the class? Actually, today we are having a guest lecture. With this, I am winding the class.